you have to read this one. You just got to. I think everyone in my family would tell you that read aloud time is our favorite time of our homeschool day. So today I'm going to share with you our 2021-2022 read aloud choices. Hi, my name is Erin. I'm a homeschooling mom to 4 kids. This year we have a kindergartner, a 3rd grader, a 5th grader, and a 7th grader. And we have been homeschooling from the very beginning. We have always loved our read aloud time. It has been a highlight of our homeschool year every single year. There are so many benefits to reading aloud with your family, and I made a short video that I'll link up here as well as in the description below if you want to find out a little bit more about why you should read aloud with your kids. We are a very eclectic homeschool. We like to do things from all different varieties and genres and styles of education, as well as with our books. I prefer to try to have a mix of action adventure types of books, some of like classic literature types of books. I like to throw in some biographies of people that are important to learn and know about, and even some books that are just ones that are historical ones that kind of go along with what we might be studying in history at the time. So you will see that we have quite the variety here, and I like to just kind of mix things up so that my kids are always guessing a little bit about what's going to come next, and it also just exposes them to lots of different types of books. I will have links to all of these books in the description below. The first book that we're going to be doing is On the Edge of the Dark Sea of Darkness by Andrew Peterson, and this one is the first book in the Wingfeather saga. This is one that I have heard such good things about from quite a few different homeschool moms. This is one that is supposed to be just very action-packed and exciting and adventurous, and has all kinds of made-up creatures and different things in it, as well as some humor, and it just is supposed to be just a really fun read. And I keep saying just. I think I said that like 10 times. Anyway, this is written by Andrew Peterson, who is also a Christian recording artist. This one says that it tells the tale for all ages following Janner, Tink, and Lily Igby and their trusty dog Nugget in escape from the vicious fangs of Dang who seek the lost joys in Aneria. Quirky characters in their world of wonders, from the edge of the dark sea of darkness to the deadly Glipwood forest and beyond, set the stage for this epic adventure that includes a whole bunch of different things like toothy cows and sea dragons and legends and lore and recipes for maggot loaf and different fun things. That this one just looked like a whole lot of fun. So this is going to be what we kick off our school year with. This one, I'm not sure how intense this is going to be, so this one might not be appropriate for our kindergartner. We will try it out, and if it gets to be too much for her, then I will probably find an audiobook that I can put on for her to listen to by herself for a little while we read like a chapter a day as this one. The rest of these books are not really in the order that we're going to be reading them. They're just ones that we're going to do at some point, hopefully during the school year. But the next one that I'm going to share with you is the story of William Carey. This is from YWAM Publishing's Christian Heroes Then and Now series. We have done several books through them and absolutely love this series, and we have really enjoyed every single book that we did. Last year we did George Mueller, and that was amazing. So I'm excited to do William Carey with the kids. William Carey is known as the father of modern day missions. He was the first person to go into India as a missionary. He was very passionate about bringing the message of the gospel to people who had never heard about it before. And he has a very famous quote that has always been one of my favorite quotes, where he said, "Attempt great things for God and expect great things from God." And I love that. I love the idea of having him as a role model of faith for our kids. So I'm looking forward to reading more about his story. Another one that we're going to read is Little Men by Louisa May Alcott. I personally read Little Women last year again, and I really enjoyed it and really wanted to kind of follow up with that with Little Men. This one is set with Jo March from Little Women, who is now Jo Bear, and her husband start an orphanage and school for boys. And so this takes place at Plumfield, where she is running this house full of boys and teaching them. They get into all kinds of trouble and different adventures and things like that. There was a TV series called Little Men that was based off of this, and I believe there's another book called Jo's Boys. We watched that series with the kids a couple of years ago, and we really enjoyed it, so I thought it would be fun to read this book together because the books are always better than the shows or the movies, so I'm looking forward to reading this one. And as you can see, this is from our library, so pro tip, before you go out and buy books, make sure you check and see if your library has them, because a lot of times, especially these classics like this or the more popular current books like the Wingfeather Saga, the library probably already has. And if you don't need to plan to read it at any certain time, you can put these books on hold and check them out whenever they're available and then save yourself some money. The next book on my list is The Mysterious Howling, which is book 1 in a series called The Incorrigible Children of Ashton Place. And this one I'm really excited to read because this in the description, sorry, I'm looking at my description for you here. It says that this is perfect for fans of Lemony Snicket and Trenton Lee Stewart. And we love Trenton Lee Stewart. In this description, it says, of especially naughty children, it is sometimes said they must have been raised by wolves. The incorrigible children actually were. Discovered in the forest of Ashton Place, the incorrigibles are no ordinary children. Luckily, Miss Penelope Lumley is no ordinary governess. A proud graduate of the Swanbourne Academy for Poor Bright Females, she must use all of her skills to tame these clever canine children. Latin poetry and the use of globes will simply have to wait. But mysteries abound at Ashton Place. Who are these 3 wild creatures? Why does old Timothy the coachman lurk around every corner? Will Penelope be able to civilize the incorrigibles in time for Lady Constance's holiday ball? And what on earth is that howling in the attic? So this one just looks really fun. I'm excited to go through this with the kids. The next one is The Moffats, and this one is by Eleanor Estes. And this one was recommended by Sarah Mackenzie. I love Sarah Mackenzie. If y'all don't know Sarah, you have to go check out Read-Aloud Revival. Sarah Mackenzie has never steered us wrong with Read-Alouds. She has all kinds of book lists on the Read-Aloud Revival website, as well as in her book, The Read-Aloud Family. So check that out if you need some more ideas of Read-Alouds for your family too. This one tells the story of the Moffat family. The mother is a widow and she has a handful of kids that she has to take care of while she's working to provide for the family, and the kids get into all kinds of mischief and just do goofy things. Like it talks about, on here it says, only a Moffat could get locked in a bread box all afternoon, or dance with the dog in front of the whole town, or hitch a ride on a boxcar during kindergarten recess. And only a Moffat could turn mistakes and mischief into hilarious, one-of-a-kind adventure. So this one just sounded like a fun, lighthearted story to read aloud with all of our kids together. The next book is Roll of Thunder, Hear My Cry. This one is by Mildred D. Taylor, and this one I feel like is talked about all of the time and is in all of the really great literature-based curriculum options that are out there. And this one is actually in the curriculum that we're using for this year as well. This one is set in the South, I believe, during the Great Depression. And it says that humiliation and fear seem to rule the lives of Cassie Logan and her family, but they have one thing that no one can take away, their land. And with that to hold them together, nothing can tear them apart. It's also a winner of the Newbery Medal, which means It's gonna be good. Another one that was on Sarah Mackenzie's book list is called Circus Mirandas, and this one's by Cassie Beasley. It says in the description that even though his awful great aunt Gertrudis doesn't approve, Micah believes in the stories his dying grandpa Ephraim tells him of the magical Circus Mirandas, the invisible tiger guarding the gates, the beautiful flying bird woman, and the magician more powerful than any other, the man who bends light. Finally, Grandpa Ephraim offers proof. The circus is real, and the light bender owes Ephraim a miracle. With his friend Jenny Mendoza in tow, Micah sets out to find the circus and the man he believes will save his grandfather. The only problem is, the light bender doesn't want to keep his promise, and now it's up to Micah to get the miracle that he came for. This one sounds like another action-packed adventure, right up my kid's alley. The next one on my list is The Singing Tree by Kate Soretti. This one's actually on our curriculum list as an independent reading book for middle school age, but I really like the idea of this story and wanted to read this aloud. I think it's more independent reading just because of the words and that kind of stuff. There might be some intense situations in here because this takes place during the Great War, and it kind of follows the story of these cousins who are forced to kind of grow up quickly because their father gets sent off to war, and they have to help take care of the farm and take care of their relatives, as well as some Russian soldiers and German war orphans that come through and have to take refuge where they're at. So I thought this would just be a really good one to kind of go along with when we're studying World War I this year. The next one is The 21 Balloons, and this one we actually read, I think, when my oldest was in maybe first grade, and really enjoyed it. So I thought it would be fun to do this again. This tells the story of this guy who's a teacher, and he decides to set off in a hot air balloon to cross the ocean, and he ends up crash landing on a volcanic island named Krakatoa, where he finds this community of extremely wealthy people who have kind of set up their own government and this own city system where they all own different restaurants based on different ethnic types of food, so they have some variety to their days, and they have discovered this underground mine of diamonds, so they just have diamonds everywhere, and he has to go about figuring out how to get off the island and get back home. So this is a really fun read. The last one on my list is The Vanderbeakers of 141st Street. This one, again, Sarah Mackenzie recommended. This one says, the Vanderbeakers have always lived in the brownstone on 141st Street. It's practically another member of the family. So when their reclusive, curmudgeonly landlord decides not to renew their lease, the 5 siblings have 11 days to do whatever it takes to stay in their beloved home and convince the dreaded Biederman just how wonderful they are. And all is fair in love and war when it comes to keeping their home. Another thing that's fun about this one is that it's part of a series, just like the Wingfeather Saga, which we love to find series, guys. Like, when we can find a good series to dig our claws into, we love to just read all of them. So I'm excited to find a couple of series, I think, hopefully this year, that we're gonna fall in love with. So this one, I know Sarah said, you have to read this one. You just got to. So I'm excited. This has been on my list for a couple of years, and I'm excited that we're gonna get to go through it this year. I'm curious, have you read any of these books? What are your thoughts on them? Which one was your favorite? Or what is the book that you are looking forward to reading the most with your family? Definitely doesn't have to be one of these ones. I would love to hear from you, though, to get some more book ideas for the upcoming year or even over the summer. So drop a comment below and let me know what book it is for you that you are most looking forward to reading with your kids this year. Thanks so much for watching today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button below and share this out with anyone else that you think might find it helpful. I hope that you were able to find a good book that you can dig into with your own family. Bye.